Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome. Today we're going to start a campaign game with British Tank Ace from Compass Games. In this game you take charge of a single British tank and attempt to fight your way through World War II, gaining experience, medals, prestige, and hopefully making it all the way to the end of your designated campaign. In this episode we're going to pick our unit, pick our tank, get our crew set up. Let's jump right in and get started. So this is me, the tank commander, and let's take a look at what we've got to get going here. I'm starting out, you can start out either as a non-commissioned officer or as an officer. The game recommends starting out as an NCO, so that's what we're doing. We are Sergeant, so Sergeant Zilla is right here. The next thing we want to do is to pick a unit. I think there's over a dozen historical units you can pick from in the game, or you can randomly determine it. I picked one actually. I wanted to pick the 7th Armored Division, which is, yes, the Desert Rats. I feel like that's very, very appropriate, so that's what we're going with. Everything else here is an empty cabinet. We have 0, our prestige level is 0, we have 0 prestige points, we have 0 experience, we don't have any medals, and we don't have any war trophies. Literally an empty cabinet. Hopefully we can fill this up as we go through our missions. The next thing we need to do is to pick where we're going to fight. There are 3 campaigns available in the game. We're going to pick North Africa, and that means we're going to start in June of 1940, and we're going to be fighting in the desert. So the tank commander has a theater, but we need a tank. So let's pick our tank. Now, with a prestige level of 0, the only tank we can pick is the Cruiser Mark I A9. And let's take a look at this tin can. The first thing we'll notice is that it has armor values of 2, 2, 2. Higher is better, 2 is not good. If we get hit, we're going up. So I'm not sure how long this campaign's going to last. Our main gun is a 2-pounder, which has a firepower of 5, which is actually not bad. However, it's limited technically in that it can only fire armor-piercing ammo. It can't fire high explosives, can't fire smoke or anything like that. It's just armor-piercing ammo. That severely puts us at some limitations in terms of destroying and damaging soft enemy targets. However, to our advantage, this is a rather unique tank. It has a turreted left machine gun and then a turreted right machine gun, as well as a coaxial machine gun that the gunner can fire instead of firing the main 2-pounder. So if we only come across soft targets, that's what we'll be engaging them with. Now, we need a crew. I'm the commander. We need 5 crew members. And I've got 5 volunteers from the channel Patreon that have volunteered to be the initial crew on this Cruiser Mark I A9. If you would like to, by the way, if you would like to join the Patreon and support the channel, there's a link to the channel Patreon down below in the description. And I'm sure if the practice missions I've done are any indicator, we're going to need more crew members very quickly. Just saying. But let's talk about our current crew. Our gunner is Hoovian. Our driver is Scott. Left machine gunner is David S. Right machine gunner is DM Tim. And then John W. is our loader. Welcome aboard, men. Now, the first thing we have to do in terms of this tank, decisions to make, is we need a nickname for our tank. I'm going to let the crew make the final decision, but if you viewers have suggestions what the nickname should be, let me know in the comments down below and we can go from there. I'm not sure how long this tank will last, but in any case, this is where we're going. So that sets us up. We can see the other factors in here: machine gun ammo, armor piercing ammo. We have different skills and abilities that our crew can earn. This is our mobilization, our immobilized, our track status, our radio status is here, and then this is the facing for our turret. I am going to play with the optional rule that has ranks for your gunner and driver. So our gunner starts out as a corporal and our driver starts out as a lance corporal. They can earn promotions and perhaps even advance up to getting their own tank, which would have them leave our crew. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Okay, we've got a tank, we've got a theater, we've got a commander. Now we have to go to tank school. Tank school is a series of little mini roles here for our crew to see if they have any advanced skills. So we're going to walk through these 3 elements here. The first step is gunnery training, and for that we need to use the long range main gun anti-tank to hit chart. And we're going to roll on this, and we roll 3 times, and if we get 2 hits, we get a gunnery -1 marker on the tank display map, which means that our gunnery skill will cost 1 less experience point to purchase. So this could be helpful. Let's see how we do. Now we'll notice here's the chart that we need. Long range, we need a 2 to 5 to hit. So the odds are not very good here. 7 we missed with the first time, so we need 2 hits on the next one. 5s or less. Ooh, we get a 3. Nice work. Our gunner here is Hoovian. If you can get a 2 to 5, we get the gunnery -1 skill. We missed. We get an 8. So that's a fail, but it's a little bit of a climb, so I wasn't expecting it. Now it's time for our driver, Scott, to see if he has any inherent skill at driving one of these tanks. We're going to roll 2 times on the mud column on this chart here to see if we don't get the tank stuck or not. Now it has a -1 trainee modifier. So if we look at the chart here, a 2 to 5 is the result to become immobilized. We need a 2 to 6 would be an immobilized. So we have to roll twice, getting a 7 or better in order to not immobilize the tank, and giving Scott, our driver, a little bit of an advantage at getting some driving skill. We get a 6, he got the tank stuck, so yeah, we don't get that skill either. Off to a great start here. Okay, weapons training time. This goes for anyone that can have weapons maintenance. And these are 3 people. So our gunner, Hoovian, gets to roll here. Our left turret machine gunner, David S., and then our right machine gunner, DM Tim, get to roll on these. If we get 9s or higher, we get a weapons maintenance -1 marker on the tank display mat, indicating that crewman gets the skill for 1 less experience point. So we don't get the skill yet, we just get to acquire it more easily in the future if that's what we decide we want to spend it on. So let's let Hoovian go first. We need a 9 or higher. He gets a 3, that's not even close. Let's go now to our left machine gunner, David S. He gets a 6, so no inherent weapons maintenance ability in David S. Lastly, DM Tim, he gets a 7. It's a triple fail. So our crew has absolutely no inherent ability, and we're off to a great start. The last thing that we get to pick here is actually related to the commander. We can pick any one of these, and thankfully there isn't any die rolls involved because we might actually succeed at this. We could get this, there are 3 different things that they could impact. It means a discount on getting the expert level of skill as the commander, or a quicker promotion. But the one I want, given that our tank is literally made of tinfoil, is the stamina marker. So this means the first time, if we get a KIA result on the commander, it degrades to a serious wound, wherein a serious wound gets downgraded to a light wound. This, I think, will help us keep the campaign going. So I'm going to pick this stamina marker. Let's put it out on the commander mat here. I'm not quite sure where this one goes. I'm just going to put it on leader here. It doesn't seem to really have a place, so I'll just drop it here on leader, but we know where it is. So we've got the stamina, which should help should we have catastrophic results in our career at some point. Lastly, even though we ultimately failed at our training missions, we are going to get 1 experience point because that's what happens as you go through training. So it wasn't a total failure, and we can actually spend this experience point on something too. There are a number of skills that we can buy in the game, things for gunnery, aim, crew synergy, leadership, eye for terrain, adrenaline rush, weapons maintenance, but the one that costs actually 1 experience point, so we're actually going to spend our experience point right away, is a tank commander skill called 6th Sense. And what this does is if you get a result on your tank that forces your tank to button up, instead of rolling for a potential wound for the commander can be considered buttoned up. So it's just an innate sense in the commander that the tank's taking fire and he buttons up before they get riddled with machine guns or mortar fire or something. So I think that's going to actually help keep the commander alive. It's not all about the commander here. We love the crew too. But if the commander dies, the campaign ends. So I want to keep our commander alive. So 6th Sense it is, 6th Sense it is for our crew skill, our first one. With that, we've got our commander, we've got our theater, we've got our tank, we've got our crew. We have gone through basic training. I'll put a link to our first mission as soon as it's ready.